Welcome back, everybody, to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community. I'm your host, Nico, and joined with me today in-house is my co-host, Chris. How you doing, man?
Hey, not too bad. How's everything going?
Good. But yeah, me and Chris have already been having a few here tonight, having a good time here. We're going to talk about some comics with you guys. Cheers. Always good. Every few episodes we get together and do this in person. If this is your first time checking out the show, guys, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Let's get the subscriber count up. Let's get back these late night chat network people. We need to get higher than they are. They just reached over 200 recently. Of course, we are the sister site here, the Late Night Collectors community. As I like to say, the B site with the A content. That's right.
That's it. B side with the A song. I love it.
Yeah. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, guys. It's your first time checking us out. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think, and make sure you subscribe. And spoiler warning here tonight, guys. Be forewarned. We are going to be spoiling some of the things that happen in the stories and the comics that we're talking about here tonight. And we're going to be showing off some of the art in order for us to properly talk about the books. Sometimes the big spoilers, you try to stay away from them. As always, though, just be forewarned. You can always read your books and then come back. You can always check out our shows in the playlist here on the YouTube channel. We got a whole library full of them. And episode 44, we're just moving along here, man.
Closing in on 52.
That's right. And today we're going to be talking about the new comics that came out for the week of September 21st, 2022. This, I believe, is the 21st, right? Yeah, that's right. September 21st, 2022. We're going to be talking about those comics that came out this week that we both read. Huge week. Between both of us, guys, we're talking about 23 books tonight. So, yeah, we have quite a lot to talk about here. So let's keep it moving. Without further ado, we got solicits to talk about, all kinds of fun things, beers to drink. Chris.
That's it. It's a big week. Let's talk comics.
Let's talk some comics. Fucking right. All right, here we go. First up on the docket, we got Axe Judgment Day number 5, guys. Let's bring up that. And yeah, me and Chris got the cover here, the regular cover here for you guys. So, Chris, what did you think about this one, man?
I think this issue came out too soon. I wish there was a bit more time between Axe 4 and Axe 5. I enjoyed Axe 4, Axe 5 so much. Maybe not so much, but it's still good to see what's going on in there. What do you think?
I liked it, but we finally reached the point of this event where this is the basic punch 'em up issue, right? I mean, we got one issue to go in the main series. I guess they were being truthful when they said like these next 3 one-shots that are going to be individually Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals related that are going to be coming out over the next couple of weeks leading into the final issue of this series are essential reading. Kieran Gillen is going to be writing them. I think he's just going to take one last look at all these individual characters before wrapping the series up. But, there's some great art and moments in this. I really liked the Cap moment. Like, you had to have that essential Cap moment. That's like going all the way back to Infinity Gauntlet days. Like, he is the man that's going to stand up to whichever bully he has to stand up to. Yeah, absolutely. That's actually, I did reveal that in the slides here. You think I should not go on? I shouldn't show that?
We didn't really talk too much about it. Like, doesn't everybody just die in this one?
A lot of them are starting to. A lot of them are starting to in this issue. I mean, I don't think that anything's going to stick.
Well, of course.
But the Cap had his, quintessential moment where I think it's worth talking about for this reason. He had his moment where he stood up to the bully, gets blasted, gets roasted, and they stood up to the guy who's judging everybody. But then the X-Men broke protocol somehow in here.
Well, they had some people to choose who to bring back. It's time limited, I guess. And like I say, they did try and break tradition, and I thought it was a great ending.
I just like that amongst all of them, even the X-Men, everyone knows and loves and respects Cap for like his like, you know what I mean?
Just, what he is.
That symbol, you know what I mean? Like, so I think amongst everything that went on in this, even the fact that Cap actually got judged with the thumbs down in this event for whatever reason. Yeah, exactly. Because he's supposed to be the best of us. He stood up to this bully and is like, listen, and he tries to get into it, gets blasted right killed, and but whatever, man, that's awesome. And there's the scene right there that Chris was referring to. Blast through that egg here at the end. We're holding the shield.
Yeah, I know how he gets that shield in the egg, but that's comics. We're not going to talk about that part.
Great moment, though. I mean, I think that was my favorite moment of the issue. Other than that, it was your basic kind of punch 'em up battle type issue, right? I mean, but it matched along with great art. But, I think we were going to hit this point sooner or later in the event, right? I mean, things had to happen in that sense. But I'm really looking forward to these one shots and actually some of the tie-ins now. Like, I might be reading some of these other tie-ins, like you said, even if I read them online. There's some good stuff possibly happening in these tie-ins with the judging, the final judgments that are going on right now in the event. So all in all, I think, I mean, it's a little early to tell, maybe even with one issue to go, they could all go, tits up here, but I think this is a decent event. This has been a pretty good event. I've really liked it. It's gone places I didn't expect it to. And I know we've been,
I've enjoyed the event, and like it didn't start out great, but once again, it's pulling through.
Yeah. So what'd you give this one then?
I'll give it a 3.75. I thought it was good.
Read my mind. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just because, other than the cap moment, I think it was not as much happening in this particular issue, but otherwise, yeah.
Like everybody's just getting blasted, but you don't see anybody kind of really die. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to these one shots now, though. I mean, these one shots might be telling some good stuff here. I mean,
well, I'm looking to all the tie-ins and all that, because like a lot of issues are tying in. Fantastic Four is tying in, the Avengers tied in, Spider-Man's tying in, Captain Marvel's tying in.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it before. I'm happy to read all those ones.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right. Next up, we got big release this week, Vanish #1. Chris was able to secure a copy here as well. We talked about that at the end of the last episode here. He was able to get one though. So yeah, Vanish #1. Very much looking forward to this one. All right. Yeah. So Vanish #1, bring this up here for you guys. Yeah. So Chris, I know this was a highly anticipated book you failed to pick up initially. I know I kind of gave you some some shit at the end of the last episode here, because I'm like, come on, man, you got to get on this Donny Cates Stegman train here. What'd you think of this one? Like you said, big release. A lot of people were looking forward to this one because I think Stegman, since the last time he was working on Venom with Donny Cates, has not put out any other than that short story that we just had in Amazing Fantasy. I don't think he's released any art. So he's been steadily working on this book behind the scenes, getting ready for this release that they've put out. I believe this may have also been a Substack book for these two. If I'm not mistaken, I think
like
they may
this exact issue or like the story itself.
I believe so. I think they've been bringing out Vanish. So I think possibly it may have already been out there. It might be one of their Substack things that Donny Cates is putting out. And now it's maybe coming out in comic issues. So don't quote me on that. I might be wrong, but I believe this is something, because I know they've been doing things, I think, away from traditional publishing this time, ever since they've separated from Venom, working on Venom together.
Well, I think the story started out with a bang there. You got that almost Damian Wayne type character popping out.
Yeah.
And, that was good. It was good, kind of the reveal at the end there. And I'm not too sure about him being such a crazy sort of character. You don't really get that too much from this story. If you read the solicitations, it's like, some guy that peaked when he was 14 years old, and, he's been struggling with things ever since. I thought it was an okay story. I'll read on further, and I thought the art was great in there, and the story's decent so far. So I'm down for it.
I didn't realize, though, that this is going to be somewhat a take. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but this is somewhat Harry Potter-ish, to be honest with you. Because so that is the word going around. Okay, so it's not just me, because I didn't really read into this too much, reviews on this one. But from what I got from this issue, this is essentially about a guy that went to a world where magic existed, and they learned magic outside of actual Earth, where we are all from, and where he's from, and he is the chosen one, essentially, or identified as such when he went over there. Then there's a bunch of bad guys that banded together. Is sounding familiar? This is very Harry Potter like, and then they try to take him down. He retaliates against them, but instead of zapping him with a bolt or whatever else happened in Harry Potter, this guy legit just took out a gun and shot this guy, the Voldemort of this world, essentially. And with a pistol that he took from the actual real world and brought into this magical world. He's like, yeah, fuck all this magic shit. He's just gonna put a cap in this guy's ass. Apparently, he shoots him and kills him, it looks like. But then all of his, I guess, cronies, all the people that work
split. The Hollow, is that what they were called?
Right. And that's the kind of the opening of this issue, is you see him run into this younger guy who now that they all have come back to Earth, are posing as superheroes, although they are the bad guys. And by the end of this issue, the twist is he is now going to pose as a villain in order to take down these guys. Exactly. Right.
You're gonna have to beat up the good guys.
Right.
That means you're the bad guy.
Right.
So it's an interesting twist.
An interesting role reversal kind of thing going on, though. Yeah, I do like that. I do like, you know, to the outside world, like us, like we know no better to think that these guys are our heroes or our villains. And although these guys have already been having a battle from years past in a world outside of our world, right? So I think that part about it is very interesting. I think it's kind of bringing the war to the forefront for, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's interesting because he has to pose now as a villain to go against people, like, and be hated by humans and fight these magical creatures who are actually the bad guys in essence, right?
And
so
basically they're all in disguise too, because like that one Damien, I don't forget, Battle Rocket.
Yes.
You know,
he made fun of his fucking name. Yeah, he's like, really? Like, yeah, Battle Rock. Yeah, really? That's your name?
You know, and he's some 800-year-old man at the end of it.
Yeah.
So you got to see what these guys are up to too. You know, maybe they got something else going on. Who knows?
The thing about this issue, though, is quite dense. They really just threw you into the thick of things and then tried to explain along the way. By the end of it, I'm like, okay, I can see where they're going with this, or I get where they're coming from, because obviously they're, you know, like I said, it did remind me of things like Harry Potter and stuff like that. Not that I'm huge into Harry Potter, but this is definitely a darker, more serious version of that, I would say. But it is definitely Harry Potter. I mean, it's weird. It is and it isn't, but it's like Harry Potter with a superhero twist. And like drenched in like 90s like Batman Dark Knight kind of vibes, kind of, I'm getting from it. The art was fantastic. Stegman absolutely killed it on this. This is honestly the best he's ever looked. So like, if you guys have been following Stegman like I have throughout his career, his art, or even new to his work like Chris has been recently, this is honestly, like, I can say without a doubt, this is the best stuff I think I've seen from him. Like, this is, he's a great artist, but this was amazing looking. I mean, everything in this. So like, the layouts, the close-ups that he did in this, the spreads, the double page spreads, the splash pages, everything looked fantastic. So I mean, that's I think the really big highlight of this. But it did hook me still. Like, I am still interested to learn more about this world and what's going on. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of notes from, you know, I guess topical movies. You know, a bit of John Wick in there too. You know,
sure.
Running down to his basement and basically busting open the crate. But anyways, there's more stuff. You know, like I say, we're interested to see what's going on.
So what'd you give this one then?
I'll give it a 3.5. Sorry though.
Ooh,
it was okay, but nothing crazy going on there. You know, nothing really pulled me in.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4. I did quite enjoy it, but it did it. You know, it hit my expectations on this book. No, I had high expectations for this book. Maybe that's my fault, but I don't think it reached my expectations on this first issue out. But you never know. I mean, I'm definitely interested, and we're definitely going to keep on reading it, but it could get better from here on out, honestly. Like, it's just, this is a lot to take in this first issue, honestly, but I hope they steer away more from the magical world shit and actually more focus
back into the real world where he is now.
Yeah, exactly. So all right, next up, what do we got here? We got Avengers 60. I read this one digitally. I think Chris
got an issue here somewhere. I gotta find. I got them all these double packed here. Oh, that's Avengers Forever. Anyways, this was a great issue, though. I'll say that much.
Yeah, this is an Axe tie-in as well. I think this is the first Axe tie-in for Avengers.
Yeah, there we go. Boom.
Yeah,
it's first Axe tie-in for Avengers, and it steps away from where the Avengers have been running lately. Lately, the last few issues have all been, you know, the Avengers team, you know, jumping through time, meeting up with other, I don't know, I guess, multiversal Avengers. This is when the Avengers are the stories with Hawkeye, and he's in present time about to be judged. And as for the Judgment Day tie-in, you kind of get an idea of how people are being judged. So I thought that was a good idea, or a great, you know, tie-in to at least get an idea of what's everything's going on. I love the issue. I thought it was great. What do you think?
I loved it too, man. This is I mean, I jumped on because I know that Avengers is going to be ending soon, and I was curious, especially the way that Chris has been talking about Avengers Forever and Avengers and everything Jason Aaron's been doing. Jason Aaron, worth noting, didn't write this issue. Actually, Mark Russell wrote the Axe tie-in, who I'm a big fan of as well. But this was an excellent one-shot. I think Chris is right. I think this is probably the best representation of the breakdown in a day in the life of somebody that was being judged within this event. I love Hawkeye. I liked this issue a lot. everything from the Celestial hiding amongst him, trying to judge him secretly, and being different people in his life, Luke Cage, Black Widow, people that he's close to, in order to get a good read on him. From that to the great moment at the end where there's a reference to like how he's not as important as like a mailbox.
Yeah, I love that part
right?
where he was struggling to try and be more I guess more important than a mailbox, and he had to struggle to try and to prove that. But
yeah, he takes out a bad guy here during the course of his day. Basically, yeah. See, there you go. This can a mailbox do that? And they kind of pan in on the mailbox at the end. Black Widow or Celestial Black Widow is putting a letter in the mail to Clint. And when he's kind of feeling down and kind of rethinking his day out and how everything went throughout the course of this day, that he just had this weird day. He gets a letter in the mail, and it's from the Celestial, basically writing him to let him know that he passed the test, and basically the good qualities that he presented through the course of his day, that they actually respected in him, and therefore why they're giving him the thumbs up, right? So I really thought that hit close to home. Like, I thought this is a great representation of not only Hawkeye as a character, because again, Hawkeye is a great character because he is the Avenger that doesn't have powers on the team. You know what I mean? So like, I think that it's always a great character when written well. And yeah, just a great, like you said, a great representation of people being judged within this event. And I think that this issue honestly single-handedly fleshed it out way better than any issue of the event has so far. And that's a great thing about some of these tie-ins. They've had the opportunity to do that, right? I think, despite Greg Land on art, which, like I said, I know you like him. I'm not a huge fan of Greg Land. I thought it looked fine. It was fine. And yeah. Great issue. As a one and done. I mean, like I said, guys, I haven't been reading Avengers, but if you've been reading Axe, you can just go and pick this up or read it online.
This has nothing to do with the Avengers run that's been going on.
Not at all. Yeah. So Chris had told me that. So yeah, absolutely. Great issue. What'd you give this one?
I'll give it a 3.75, maybe even push a 4.
I'm gonna give it a 4.25. I thought it was very strong. Really it really just came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting this one. Like I said, I don't normally read it, and I thought it was a great issue. Great one and done.
Nice.
So yeah. All right. Next up, we got Exterminators #1.
Ooh, here we go.
Yeah. Let's look at the art on this one.
Yeah, this is a surprising comic, let's say. I think in the beginning it has a parental advisory saying, this is for, I think it's just because they try to use swear words or because they're drinking in the story. It's not so much because it's too spicy or anything, but it does start out pretty spicy.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Dazzler skating around there in a pile of blood, and it does start out strong, but the middle of the story kind of falls apart. I guess the whole idea of the story is that Dazzler breaks up with her boyfriend, and she calls up Boom Boom and Jubilee to have a girls' night out. And then somehow they end up running into a bunch of vampires that drug them.
Is this Boom Boom in the heart dress?
Yeah. And she's kind of playing a happy-go-lucky girl that likes to enjoy the pleasure of beverages. She pre-games before they go out.
Yeah, every time I've read Boom Boom and something, that she seems like that type of person though. She'll cuss like a sailor. She'll be drinking. Yeah, and clearly she looks good. And
the art in this one, the stories, I guess maybe takes a second seat to the art there. But in the beginning, it starts out strong, and then they end up getting knocked out by these vampires, and they all sort of separated, and I have no idea why they are where they are. Got Jubilee driving around in a 4x4, and they're all kind of separated. But then in the end, they pass some sort of test by these vampires somehow. Then that was it. Dazzler's ex-boyfriend was the head vampire, coincidentally.
Well, Jubilee also used to be a vampire at one point. Yeah, I don't think she is anymore. Is she still in this?
No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, she used to be a vampire, like as a fallout of, I think, one of those events or something like that. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But anyways, they pass some sort of test, and then there they go. The next big boss is Wolverine. So we'll see where that goes. So that was a good ending to the story, but the middle of the issue kind of left me wanting, let's say.
Okay.
But the art is great, and it's a fun story.
I'm not familiar with this artist, but yeah, the art looked fantastic. While putting the art together, it
Yeah.
made me want to read this issue. I was like, this looks great. Yeah. So
Yeah, some good characters and having fun in there.
Yeah. So what'd you give this one?
I'll give it a 3.75. It's a lot better than I thought it'd be.
Nice. Yeah, I might have to check it out. This is only, I think, a 4-issue miniseries, this one.
Yeah,
so
4 or 5, whatever. So it's not a big investment.
Yeah. All right. Edge of Spider-Verse number 4 for this one.
Where's Edge of Spider-Verse? This was another crazy issue here. Wherever I got it. Anyways, there's 3 or 4 stories in there. We got Peter Porker and Pete the Suburban, or no, Pete Spider-Man. And this was a fun story. You know, you expect Peter Porker to be the kind of like almost like the Deadpool, a comic character, but for whatever reason, he's become grittier. And it's kind of funny seeing Peter Porker as a gritty Spider-Man, and he runs into this other Pete Spider-Man. I guess he differentiates himself by being the only Spider-Man without a hyphen. And he does have spider powers. I forget how he gets him in there. But he's got the dad jokes and all that sort of bit, and he kind of reminds Peter Porker of what it's like to be fun.
Right.
And then there's another story kind of based on the cars. It's basically the Spider-Mobile, and his alter ego is Peter Parked Car. So that was fun. Like, you know, it sounds dumb, but the story's a lot funner than you'd think.
Peter Parked Car.
Yeah. And then there was a Disney princess story. And then there's the final one with I forget what her name is, but another spider character.
I like how they made the villains look in this Disney.
The Disney one was very kind of
original.
Typical of the Disney characters,
Disney princesses. But the way they made the villains look was like, you know, like again, like the villains from the Disney films as well. Very, very cool from the art looking. Anyways,
and I forget what the last story. I don't have my notes here, unfortunately, but you have the
Spectacular Spider-Mobile. Is this Peter Parked Car?
Yeah, that's Peter Parked Car there. There's like J. Jonah Jalopy or something, and this is playing a lot of puns on the
Sun Spider. This is Sun Spider. Is that the one you're referring to?
Yeah, the Sun Spider, I think. That's a character. I think it might have some weight behind her story. Might become more of
paraplegic or something. Is that what
she's like a high school girl that's in a wheelchair, and you know, kind of her struggles there. It just kind of opens your eyes to sort of some of the struggles that you might not think about.
Right.
And I thought it's a great story too.
Nice. Yeah, looks good. So is this the last issue or next one? The last issue of this miniseries?
I think there's still one more issue, but I thought these as a series as the whole, I thought the issue was like, you know, there'd be some kind of tying story, but basically they're just out gathering everybody for some battle.
You think it's going to be like another miniseries?
I think they're going to add. I think this is going into the new Spider-Man.
Oh, series.
Starting, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be like truly like a Spider-Verse type series. That Spider-Man one.
That's from what I hear of what's going on in that Spider-Verse. But like, there's no really kind of tying story together. It's basically just Madam Web showing up at the end of all these introductions. Them up.
Yeah.
We got a big battle to go to. So
right.
That's sort of a bit of a bummer to me. I thought this would be more of a story going forward, but
right.
Otherwise, it's still nice seeing all these new Spider characters. And I'd give this one another 3.75. I did like it.
Cool. All right. Next up, we got Creep Show number 1. I'll bring that up here. Yeah, got the issue right here. Creep Show number 1. Return of the
Spider-Verse, my bad.
Yeah. The return of the Stephen King Creep Show thing, which is now, I guess, a TV show as well. This may be the second season that they're doing of it. There's actually an ad. For once, you get an ad in an image book here. I mean, this is through Robert Kirkman's imprint. They announced this, the Skybound imprint through Image Comics. And yeah, it is a show on Shudder, Creep Show. So I think that this came out last year, if I'm not mistaken. This might be the second season that we're going into now, but they announced that they were going to be doing this mini series with Image Comics through Skybound. And, you know, I was like, sure, why not? I'm on board. So, I mean, if you guys are looking for some cool, like Halloween reads or something of something new that's out on the shelves right now, I definitely would recommend checking this out. It's 2 stories. It's going to be, I think, 2 stories every issue, like in the classic, like Tales of the Crypt. You got like the Crypt Keeper, like kind of intro here. You know, your horror host basically is introducing the book here in the bubble. The first one's drawn by Chris Burnham. And the second story is written by Paul Dini. and art by written by Paul Dini and Stephen Langford with art by John McCrae. So some good teams here. The first story, which is the one I liked a little bit better, was called Take One. A lot of these are, like basic kind of, because we're only usually, since there's 2 stories an issue, you're going to get like probably 10 pages for them to have a short story and pay off at the end, right? So they're pretty straightforward. But if you like these type of horror stories and stuff like that, I think it was fun. I mean, I don't know if they're going to capture the same magic if you were a fan of the old EC Tales from the Crypt type comics or something like that. I'm sure purists of that kind of stuff are going to read this and be like, what the hell is this? Like, what are they trying to do here? This isn't the same and whatever else. But for me, I quite enjoyed it. The first one is called Take One. These shitty kids came up, and we've all probably experienced this as we're younger. As the night goes and gets a little later, and they only so much candy left, they might leave out the bowl and be like, I'm going to bed, and maybe just put it a little aside and please take one, something like that, so the kids that are still out trick-or-treating can all get some. Of course, these shithead kids take the whole bowl and they're like, fuck this person. And, I heard this, this house apparently was used to be occupied by somebody. Apparently that's not there anymore. And the kids are questioning why the candy is even there, or, is the house haunted, all this kind of stuff. And, anyways, they take the candy anyways. And this one kid, the one that's most squeamish, it seems like, out of all the other kids that are trying to act tough to one another, he ends up eating one of the chocolate bars while he's walking down the street after they take them. Then all of a sudden in the back, he sees in the corner of his eye this like guy with like a split head, some sort of like ghostly figure chasing them from the house. He freaks out. Apparently he's the only one that sees this. And then they all starts booking them. They all start booking down the street. Then he catches up to them, ends up killing his 2 friends. And then in a like hesitation move of like trying to save himself, he's like, what is it because I stole the chocolate? He pukes up the chocolate bar purposely so he can be like, here, like, I'll give it back. Like, because I'm sorry. Like, I only took one. Meanwhile, he took a couple. He was lying, but he's just trying to make it up to him. And the guy just looks at him. Cuts to the last scene here where all 3 of them are dead on the porch with other guts and stuff out. So I was like, that's awesome. Like, again, this is nothing new, original. I've seen these type of stories before, but again, it was fun. The art was good. And if you're looking for this kind of like short kind of story, horror type storytelling, this was a classic story, a classic take on that kind of stuff. And then the second story was about parents that are fighting. They're part of a divorce, and the daughter's having a birthday party. And the mother, the husband, she curses him out for not helping bring some kids, not hiring an entertainer for his own daughter's party. She all of a sudden, while complaining about this, she gets a knock on the door. She goes out. She finds a little card that says, "Oh yeah, you can now call Shingo for all of your party needs or whatever." She's like, "Oh, everyone was booked. Thank God. This is I don't know who left this information, but what great timing." She calls it in, and this dude comes in that she thinks is a guy in a costume, but it's just like a big creature that's entertaining the kids that she brought into her home. And unsuspectedly, when they're not looking, he starts eating the children. Oh. So yeah, right there. Like he's like, "Oh, Shingo hungry. You're gonna go eat now." And then you see him like in front of the snack table, and it looks like he's eating, but you see like blood flying everywhere. And like whenever they cut the panel away, he's like off in the corner somehow. And then by the end of it, you see less and less kids in the background, and it just seems that he's been eating all these kids at the party. And the kids don't like that. Once they find out, they actually retaliate and take this thing out towards the end of the issue. So I mean, it's somewhat of a nice ending. All the kids, after they chop him up, are able to get released from his stomach, I guess. But yeah, it was fun for what it is. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought there was some good art teams on it. And yeah, Creepshow, man. I mean, if you're looking for some Halloween reads, I check it out. I give it a 4. I liked it. I quite enjoyed it. I like these small, one and done type stories, right? So they're good. Then you got Batman the Night #9. Bring that up here. I got this one right here. One more issue to go of this. This has been a surprise Batman hit for me. I think it's one of the stronger Batman books that's been coming out lately. Although this is probably one of the weaker issues in the last few issues, sadly to say. Not that it was bad. It's just like if I was going to compare it, I think this was the most straightforward, what you would have expected at this point of the story with the person that he met up with. He's been going around the world getting trained by all these different people. The last stop is Ra's al Ghul. So you get the classic Ra's al Ghul, him going out to the middle of the desert to coming across him and the League of Shadows and his people and meeting Talia and everything else. There is a moment where Talia tries to come on to Bruce in this story, and he basically, isn't interested. So they don't actually hook up in this story specifically. But because he's too kind of focused on his goal and learning from these people and everything else. And she's impressed by his prowess and how like good and how his father respects him and thinks he's the best out of the two people. Like him and his buddy that have been training together ended up coming out here, and he thinks he's the one to watch out for. But by the end of this, it's one of those keep your friends close, your enemies close. Was it keep your friends close, your enemies closer type deal? His friend, his very own friend that's there with him, of course, that is a killer, that he's a known killer, that he's learned along the way of his journey, that he thinks that he could change or make it so he's not like that any longer once they get trained up. Roz gives him the opportunity and turns his back to him, takes his sword to him here at the end, and it looks like it's going to be a final showdown in the next issue between him and his friend that's been accompanying him across his journey this whole series. So with Roz in the middle of it, so it should be interesting. But again, this is kind of like the logical conclusion of where this series has been headed this whole time, I would say, and probably the least interesting in that sense for me. So I would have to give this one a 3.5 for that reason. A good issue. 3.5 is not a bad rating, and the art's been great along the whole way. It left me kind of not as like it wasn't as unexpected as all the other events of the issues leading up to this. Like every time he met up with someone new, it was something new and interesting. This was like, okay, here's Roz. So I was just like, okay, yeah. Even some of the people that we're familiar with that he met up along the way were moments I'd never seen before. I feel like we've seen this kind of stuff here before, so it's felt very basic in comparison. So anyways, all right, next up we got the Harley Quinn 30th anniversary special #1. Chris, here we go. I got the Adam Hughes cover, and Chris,
Scott Campbell cover.
Both very, very nice covers.
A lot of good covers all the way through.
And the nice thing about this issue is they actually show all the covers in the issue.
That's great too.
I love that too. Yeah, they actually put all the covers in the issue as like chapter breaks between everything. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. So let's bring up the art on this one. Chris, what did you think overall of this this anthology of stories essentially?
Overall, I think there's some great artists, some great stories. A few times you got great artists with great stories. A few of the stories seem a bit derivative. One of the story reminded me a lot of Scumbag, and there's almost two stories that were similar to that. And I think there's a bit of hype for some new stuff coming out. Didn't really hype me too much for that, but anyways, I thought there was some great art, some great stories. I was down for it.
Yeah, just for the sake of time here, guys, we're not going to go through every single story just because, there's so many books here tonight, but I'll highlight my favorite, at least out of them. And all right, Chris, if you see the art here on the screen, let us know if there was one that was your favorite. But Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti wrote the first one, Chad Hardin on art. And then this one here, Raphael Scavone, Raphael Albuquerque, great artist. Story was okay, I thought. And then the next one is one of my favorite here, Submissive. This is Stepan Sejic on art.
Was a good one. Yeah,
this was a great one. So
great art on that one.
Stepan Sejic wrote and drew a Black Label book called Harleen. Probably before we started doing the show together, that he wrote and drew. So he's had some experience with Harley before, and he writes a lot of comics outside of this stuff that's more to do with like sex and stuff like that, stuff that he does like kinks and stuff like that. He has a book called Swing. He has another book called Sunstone, which is about S&M women to S&M people that are women that are in S&M. So he's a great artist, and he's familiar with this type of stuff. So in this, they kind of really focus on the sexuality and the kinks between Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn and how she's submissive. Catwoman calls her out for being the submissive type, catching on to how she gave in to the Joker, and how Poison Ivy, she also gives in to her and likes to be the submissive one in the relationship. So fantastic artwork. I just love his art, and he knows how to draw a sexy character. And like I said, the source material, like the types of stories he tells, this is perfect for it right here. So I think that this was a home run. This is one of my favorite stories in the issue, this one for sure. So that was a really good one. Then what else we got here? Oh, I mean, this is Riley Rossmo that just is working with Stephanie Phillips on the main series. This is them just reuniting again. I love his classic Harley look. The art was good. The story was just whatever, I thought, though, but it was fine. I love that. I love the hyenas. Yeah, that was really cool. This one ties into an ongoing series right now. It's been coming out, Criminal Sanity, that I'm not a fan of the art. I'm not a fan of I haven't been reading the main story.
I didn't mind the art, but I didn't like the depiction of Harley Quinn there, I guess.
Right.
Like, this was like what, Harley Quinn SVU or something?
That's basically what I think the Criminal Sanity series is. I'm not reading it, but I think even at the end, they're like, if you want more, read Criminal Sanity. And it just felt like a promo than anything, right? This was my other favorite story right here, the Paul Dini one, where they basically get all the and Gillian Marchand art. This is where they throw a party and they invite all
that's a fun story.
This was a fun story too. Yeah, again, art and story were really fun. This was Harley, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy throw a party, and Harley doesn't tell the other two that she invited actually superheroes, Wonder Woman to the party, Batgirl to the party. So heroes with a bunch of villains, and the whole point of the party was to try to get the villains to be good, like they are trying to be now. Poison Ivy and Catwoman trying to be a little bit, working with for the good guys, and to their surprise, all the villains, these superheroes, ended up showing up to the party. By the end of it, they're all fighting, right? And Gaggy is back. You know this guy,
I
Gaggy.
Know Gaggy, but
yeah,
this was a fun story.
Yeah, this is good. There you go. Yeah, they're all fighting at the end of the party. So that was probably my second favorite one. I didn't like this one. This is Erica Henderson on art. It seemed like nothing to do with Harley. They even reference at the end. Sam Humphries is about a jester back in the day. She's telling a story about a jester back in I guess the day, and at the end she's just kind of surrounded by all these people.
I read that one.
Yeah, that wasn't good. And then the last Harley story, Rob Williams, John Timms on art. The art was good on this. John Timms and the colors, great looking story. The story was okay, but the art was really good on this one, I thought. And
I think the art was good on this one, but the story was ho hum. Where she gets shot and she's just dreaming how she dies.
Whatever. Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah, and then this one was by Cecil Castellucci and Dan Hip on art. It looked kiddie. I didn't really like this one.
This is where she's in jail and she's just imagining things. I don't think I read this one either.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
This was one of the last comics, and this was a big comic.
Yeah, fair. And then lastly, we got the classic Terry Dodson and Rachel Dodson on. Sorry, this is Mindy Lee and Terry Dodson writing it. Terry Dodson on art. Yeah, Rachel Dodson on the ink. So, I mean, Dodson's had a lot of experience with Harley, and his art always looks good. But again, this story, I think the art was pretty almost top notch across all storylines, but the stories didn't all deliver for me on this one, right? I mean, but all in all, again, like we've said a bit here before, anthologies are sometimes always a mixed bag, but I think we've had some really good ones lately. Like we just talked about the Amazing Fantasy not too long ago.
I thought this was a good one too.
This was a good one too. Yeah.
I don't have much Harley, and it's just good seeing some stories based on her.
So what'd you give this then?
I'll give it a 3.75. Once again, pushing a 4.
Close to a 4. I think if there was another story or two that I really,
or if there was one story in there that really kind of changed, I guess, the trajectory of Harley Quinn, but everything, nothing really changed.
No, yeah. But it was a good celebration of her. That's what it is about, right? So there you go. Harley 30th anniversary special. Deceased War of the Undead Gods #2. Let's look at that cover, Chris. That's a nice one.
A little homage to something. I don't even know what it was, but
yeah, that's a nice one.
A lot goes on in this comic here.
Yeah, man.
What do we got? Sinestro trying to save his home world, and then some of the Green Lanterns show up. And is there another group that shows up too, or is there?
Well, I mean, yeah, no, it's just him and the New Gods, essentially. I mean, it's the dead New Gods, the undead New Gods that he has alongside him, and the heroes that have survived this so far, and the ones that they've been bringing back now that they got the cure to this disease that they've been suffering from.
Superwoman is or Supergirl is she's one of the, I guess, the bads in this one. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Wow, they take care of Sinestro. Good. Oof.
Yeah. I mean, the outcome at the end, because, that's really crazy, because they feed off of fear, the Yellow Lanterns. And of course, whenever a lantern gets killed, the ring has to find a new user. And after he gets blasted in the middle of space, doesn't go far. And, as you'll see in the art here for a moment here, spoilers, once again, as I've said here, guys, a person that they really hope didn't get the ring gets it here, and Darkseid ends up as the new user of the yellow ring there at the end, which is fucking crazy. I mean, he crushes Sinestro there in front of his daughter. That's part of the Green Lantern Corps here. It looks like Kyle. I think it was Kyle, right? Is it Kyle Rayner that ends up getting killed here? Yeah, Kyle. And it does not look good. I really do like I really like the exchange between Brainiac and and
Oh.
the other Green Lantern, what's his name? Fucking the one that everyone hates.
Oh,
Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner.
That was excellent. How he basically is trying to figure out. He's like, "Oh, I'm a level 9 of intelligence," and he's like, "Oh, really? Who created these levels of intelligence?" Like, I did. He's like, "And you gave yourself a 9?" He's like, "What's the top one?"
13.
Yeah. He's like, "Really?" He's like, "Well, listen, I'm 11 out of 10 in my books or something like that. So I guess I'm smarter than you." Like, just the usual like fucking jackass Guy Gardner comment, right? I was like, that's hilarious. I really like that exchange. And this is a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this book. Was great. Man. Yeah, same. Yeah, really great. I know in the first issue they were kind of setting up a lot and was kind of like left us wanting quite a bit because we're like, oh, Deceased is back and everything else. And then this issue I think is like, yeah, this gave us some big moments that we were expecting in the first issue. So what'd you give this one?
I'm giving this 4.25. I thought this was great. I love this one.
Same. Absolutely. Great issue. All right, moving along here. We got Batman Superman World's Finest number 7.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, so I got it here somewhere. Anyways,
this is the return of Dan Mora on art to the book. And this is coming off the heels of the Batman versus Robin we just talked about last week, moving back into this book and the story that they got going on here. They started a new one. What did you think about this one, Chris?
I didn't care too much for the story. Another, what's that? We got Gotham Elseworld, all that comes like almost the Gotham Kryptonian sort of mix there, and they send him through the multiverse to show up on Earth. I don't know. And then when he shows up with his parents and they stop, I'm like, why? Why can't you let this guy? Can't they explain to these parents where I know their kid died, but a lot of stuff going on there. I didn't care for it too much. What did you think of this one?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I quite enjoyed this. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really great scene here when he was, Robin was trying to like console him there. And
oh, sorry, I thought we were talking about a different scene. When Robin jumps on Superman's shoulders to go back to the fortress, like there seems to be a theme there. I thought that was hilarious. I love that part.
Yeah, that was good. I like that too. But I kind of liked just the care that Superman had with this kid, knowing that he's been there. Like he's dealt with having, he basically had the Superman origin, and he kind of saw firsthand another kid go through that with his world getting destroyed. And he actually was in the position this time to actually guide him. I thought that was kind of interesting. I think that, I don't know if I've seen that scenario before in Batman or Superman comics. So while it seems unoriginal because they're just redoing it with another kid that they were able to encounter along the way, I don't know if I've seen that done. And I really liked that moment between like where he basically just doesn't understand and he grabs them and like, you know what I mean? Like he starts to cry and like Superman's just there to fucking like, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
could not Superman go to these parents, go, hey, look, this is what's going on here, I'm Superman. This how shit works.
Right.
You're like, okay, you don't have to know this kid, but this is who this kid is. We know who you are.
You clearly
can't take away that moment from that freaking kid.
Clearly don't have a heart, Chris.
I have a heart. Could they not let that kid go there? And they're the one pulling him away.
I liked it. I like how the Teen Titans showed up at the end too, because he, again, Robin's like I had some friends that helped me through tough times here, and I think you can make friends with them too. And he introduced them to the Teen Titans here, the like classic look, classic looking Teen Titans. So I had a lot of fun with this. So what'd you give this one then?
Still think it's great art, great story. Well, not a great story, but okay story. I'll give it 3.5.
I'll give it 4. I liked it. I liked it. Hater.
I was expecting more out of this one, but Boy Thunder. What kind of name is Boy Thunder, really? Well, he gets hot.
I don't know what you want, man. They could throw him in the Legion. They all got lame powers like that.
He got that lame suit too. With the Kryptonian hero. That's what he wore. Come on. Get out of here.
All right. New Mutants number 30, Chris.
Yeah, fucking crap. Oh yeah, New Mutants 30. Yeah, wasn't so great either. This is like another anthology issue. I had a Liefeld cover. And I guess it's the 40th anniversary.
Let's see that bad boy.
It's the 40th anniversary of the New Mutants. So basically in this story, they're just trying to kind of rehash or relive some of the New Mutant moments, let's say. I guess Roberto da Costa is having a space yacht party, and everybody shows up for a yacht party, I guess. And they're just talking to each other, and whoever, I don't even know who the people were, but everybody's kind of reminiscing each time they met with each other. That was okay. The best part of the story is there's Deadpool in there near the end, and he's kind of babysitting some of the New Mutants. or newer mutants, not the New Mutants,
Right.
on a beach, and he gets them to all fight, and that was fun. But otherwise, it was a bit of a ho hum story. I wasn't too high on the New Mutants. I'd give it a 3.5.
I liked, at least from the art, these moments with Warlock and Cypher. I like seeing Warlock always.
Yeah, it's. I know this one here. They're trying to. I guess they thought it was Cypher's birthday, but it was the first anniversary for the New Mutants. There's another one where Robbie and what's that, Moonstar?
Yep.
They kind of get into a tiff, and then she thinks he stole her belt, but he was getting it fixed. Kind of all these hokey stories.
I think this is it for you now, right? This is the last one
I'm
you
hoping,
pre-ordered.
unless they freaking give it to me anyways, but we'll see how that goes.
All right. Next up, we got Jane Foster and the Mighty Thor #4.
Yeah, fuck, another winner. Anyways,
I love these moments in these shows where we get together.
Once again, this this hasn't been my favorite series. I'm sticking it out to the end. There's a lot of stuff is going on in dream worlds or else worlds or else realms or something. Basically, I think in the real world, Asgard is getting blown up, and then you got some Jane Foster. It's a very serious comic, I think. Maybe too serious for what I'm looking for. There's Jane Foster is, I don't know, she's dealing with her cancer and stuff like that, and it's a lot of heavy tones, let's say. But the big thing about this one that got me going is at the end, Ares shows up.
Yeah,
and Ares is wearing the Punisher skull, so it's got to be running around the same time.
I saw that.
The only thing, it makes me feel bad for that Punisher thing, because how is the Punisher even fighting this guy? This guy's like a full-on god.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes away from that Punisher story, but
not necessarily.
Maybe not.
Yeah, they're focusing on a lot of different things in that now, right?
Yeah.
So I think they can divert away from him. And you only got one more issue, I think, to go on this one, right? So
yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll buy it, but
yeah,
there's a lot of hokey business going on in there that I'm not down for.
There
I'd give it a 3.5, but I give that ending a 4. Just having Ares show up there, I wasn't a big Ares fan, but with what's going on in Punisher, and seeing him here, it's like, wow.
He actually isn't as jacked in this book as he is in the other one, eh?
Well, he should be, because everybody's like,
I mean, he's huge. I think he's huge here, but he doesn't seem as beefy as he does in the Punisher.
But basically, the idea here is that all the battles and all the war, that's all basically devotion to the god of war.
Of course. Yeah. Okay.
And,
I get
so
it.
he should be super powerful here.
Right.
But
what'd you give this one?
I give it a 3.5, but that pop at the end, that's worth it.
Right.
The pop is worth a 4, but the story is 3.5.
All right. So next up, we got Public Domain #4. Chris, I know you said you didn't get a chance to read this in time for the show, but this is still good. I like this. I think I only have the next issue pre-ordered, and then the next previews after that, it hasn't been in there, so they may be taking a couple of month break before they release more. I think I might switch to trade in this now, just because, as you guys know, I talked about last episode or the episode before, I'm trying to purge and take a bunch of issues off my list, or read some digitally, read some in trade. I think this is going to be one of them, but I do quite enjoy this story still. I do like the series. I just think it might read better in a chunk. I think it's just the type of story that's being told here. But in this particular issue, the father just got the rights back to the Domain character, the comic rights, let's say, only. And the son was kind of basically pointing out in this one how stupid that was. But if he's happy, everyone kind of got in his case and said they're doing it for you. He's doing it for you. He wanted to get the money to help you because he's in debt to fucking people that are going to break his legs. And they're like, be grateful. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. If you're happy, Dad, I'm happy, whatever. I'm just saying, this isn't the best deal that you, but and then they kind of cut to the people that just basically cut this deal, and the woman gets on the phone to her boss, the guy that's the head of the company, and she tells him that she gave away the comic rights and that they have all the other rights to the movies and everything else still. And she's, all fucking happy and oh, can you believe these suckers type of thing. Everyone's reaction up to this point. And he's like, what? You gave him the comic rights? And he's really upset by this, very upset. He's like, but what if he does a good job of the comics, right? And then because I guess he's worked with him and has known him the longest out of everybody in this story, so he knows what he's capable of. And you can tell that these guys have a personal beef with one another, right? And he gets really irked by this news, right? So anyways, And it cuts to the brother there, and the guys that he owes the money to end up showing up, and he drags them over his brother's apartment, trying to divert them from his father because they're like, take us to your father so you can pay your fucking debt. And he brings them to his brother's house instead, like the pacifist dude. And he ends up having to fight them anyways because he's like, listen, I'm a pacifist, but if you push me, I'm going to fight you. So he ends up fighting them, and he pulls out a gun that's not a real gun on them. They don't know that, and chasing them out. And he's just like, you got to get that money from dad. These guys are going to come back, right? And by the end of it, though, they go back to see the father because he's trying to talk about the money and all that. And he's like, the father's so excited, and he's like, guys, don't you know, like, realize what we can do now? Like, none of us are working. The brother just lost his job. Like, let's create this comic together. Like, let's do this as a family. He's like, this means a lot to me, and all this thing. And then I was like, oh, that's nice, right? And then the girl who basically gave him the information that got fired from her job, the assistant, ends up showing up at the end all pissed off, saying that she lost her job because of this too. He's like, oh my God, this is kismet. Like, this is perfect. He's like, I could use you to help us now. She's like, I was trying to get into the industry. That man was supposed to like help me get in. I want to be a comic book writer. Yeah, exactly. He's like, perfect. He's like, this is it. Like, this is meant to be. And then she's like, what? And by the end of it, they're just like, and then I guess we're going to see how this progresses now. So I thought that was really interesting how he brought everything together like that. I was like, oh, that's good. And then you see at the end, the executive guy, he's on a plane going to confront this guy. He jumped on a plane because he's going to go confront this guy about it. Well, because the guy like looks at the comics, he's like, everything's so dark these days. The creator, he's like, I'm going to bring this comic back to prominence. Like, this is shit, the stuff they're putting out now. And he knows that the comic's shit. So he's going to actually go and try. So that's very interesting. I think that's a very interesting twist because normally like the fat cat exec would not care about the comics. Like, this is why like DC people are always waiting now, ever since Warner Brothers has bought them out. They're waiting for the other shoe to drop and from them just to cut the publishing completely off. Everyone's just waiting for it because they're like, this doesn't bring in money. The movies bring in money, right? Even though this is a fucking an IP farm of ideas and these are real people working for you. You know what I mean? So it speaks very true to the comic book industry, this series. So again, if you're into this kind of stuff, guys, this is definitely inside baseball type stuff that Chip Zdarsky's writing. This is very interesting in the form of a very interesting story. I love it more each issue. Honestly, this is a great issue. I give this 4. Very good issue. Yeah, nice. Honestly, it may seem like small time happenings that are going on in this book, but it just builds and builds.
But you kind of read between the line and think about who's who.
Yeah, very good, very good, very good. And then you got Shaolin Cowboy, Cruel to Be Ken, number 5 here. Yeah, man, I love my comics this week. There's some good stuff. Shaolin Cowboy, Cruel to Be Ken, number 5. Again, I say the same thing every issue. Art's fantastic. This is probably my favorite story that's ever been done in a Shaolin Cowboy, though. I think the story is very fun. Basically the end of the last issue, like I said, the Komodo dragon family got blown up, and now the Shaolin Cowboy is out for revenge because this Komodo dragon was basically brought him to his home, introduced him to his family, and then got him a job, and then he ends up inadvertently getting all these guys killed because he brought back a package with a bomb from his new delivery service job, clearly targeting the Komodo dragons, and he ends up killing the whole family. So then he goes and tracks down his boss there, says, where did you get that package from? He's not giving him information. So he fucking, he gets the information finally out of him. And then a bunch of Komodo dragons surround this guy and basically eat him. Then the rest of the issue literally just goes into it's like John Wick style. Like he goes into like a building where apparently these guys are hanging out that put the hit out on these guys. And it's like a bunch of right wing, racist type Trump people and everything else. Like they're just sitting there with a bunch of guns, like gun toting happy, like American type, hillbilly type people, I guess so you could say. And he goes to their offices and just fucking starts killing everybody, just wreaks havoc. Then it's just like page after page after page of a super crazy detailed art where he's taking all these guys out. So again, it's just the most complex storyline. No, but it's fun. The art is some of the best art ever. It's action packed, and I'm here for it, man. I love this series. This is a great issue. I'm gonna give this a 4.25. I got to for the art. I mean, the art alone. I mean, this again, it's not like the craziest story, but the art always pushes it up a little bit more for me in terms of the points. And not everything needs to be some like huge kind of convoluted storyline. This is great, man. Yeah. So look at it. Look at this. Look at it. Look, it's crazy. Look at this. This is when he walks out to after he kills everybody. These two guys that were hidden in the back room. They're like, "Whoa, what the hell happened here?" There's a whole room. Got the guns through the chest or what's shot up. This guy doesn't fuck around, man. Yeah. So next issue, we got 2 issues to go. So there's just a few of them left out of this whole group of people. And yeah, they're going to cut what's coming to them, it looks like. So really great stuff. All right, next up, Strange number 6. Chris, why don't you let us know what you thought about this one?
Jeez, I don't even remember what happened in this one here.
This is the Wong story right here.
Okay, yeah, it's Wong and his family.
It's like a noir story, like it's the big spell, or this the
oh
first,
yeah. There's the wand,
the big sleep or something. Yeah, it's like some noir type story in Chinatown with
Yeah, he goes to the bar with no door.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of fun stuff there. And I guess there's a bit of a big reveal at the end that with the blasphemy cartel and who they are and what's going on. Yeah, so maybe not bad. What do you think?
I love this issue. I love Wong. I love that this is like just like Wong on the case in this, like in some sort of like noir story, like where he's going around everybody, like collecting information, and he's got the ghost dog with him. And I love this, man. The art was great. I thought the story was a lot of fun, and all the characters that he ran into along his travels, the dialogue, just the tone of it. I think this is one of the best issues of this Strange series, if not the best issue. Honestly, I love this as a singular Wong story. I'm a big fan of Wong, so I love this. I love how he went to see Jean Grey, and she got that information out of his mind of what happened to Steven. And then you got the old school kind of like looking art, like from the Death of Doctor Strange that they were trying to do, like, like where it's the old school Doctor Strange and stuff like that. Yeah, this is again another big surprise for me this week. I really, really enjoyed this. So yeah, I give it big points. You enjoyed it though? You said,
yeah, I did like it, but what's like that screen that you have up there right now? Was there what did Wong do that he was trying to get that was erased from his mind? He didn't kill Stephen Strange.
No, but somebody else did it and they got erased, I think. Like the fact, because remember in the Death of Doctor Strange, they weren't exactly sure. I think
it was the Mondo or something that killed him.
They figured that out, but I believe like you're right. There is something to this story. I think there was somebody else that I think that they show up at the end that it was, I think, involved, right? Or is this something from back in the day? Maybe I'm misunderstanding.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's just one had me a little bit confused in this one.
This shield person that they revealed at the end here.
Yeah.
That was the only part of the story that I think that fell flat for me was the reveal, because I was like, who the hell is this? Right. Like I was like, okay. Right. But I thought it was about the death of him previous to right now. I thought from the Death of Doctor Strange, but we did find out that it was Mondo. You're right.
Yeah.
Or not, whatever that guy's name is. Yeah.
But
Mordu
Mordu,
I forgot his name.
Mongo, I don't know.
Not Mongo, but yeah. Not Dormammu.
No, it was.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I can't remember his name right now though, but yeah.
Yeah, once again, I thought it was my favorite issue. You're loving these issues. That I'll give it a 3.5. I like the history of Dr. Wong. For Wong there, where he comes from a whole family of Wongs, we got to put your life ahead of the Sorcerer Supreme. So that was an interesting beat, let's say, but
I'm going to give it a 4. I was going to give it more, but like you said, you just pointed out the fact I didn't really remember or make note of the fact that, like, was this a death from Death of Doctor Strange? So you kind of confused me there. So I might be wrong in what I was trying to say there. And if that's lost on me, I got to give it a lower rating then. I'll give it a 4.
But I did like, the crossover with the X-Men there, at least Jean Grey. It's always good.
That was good. Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Nightwing 96. I got Chris, why don't you show off your cover?
Yeah. Got the Harley Quinn 30th anniversary. It looks great here. It probably looks great at home. Once you see it up in person, though, it's not so great.
Yeah. Some wonky faces. I got the Brady Bunch cover, y'all.
Sweet. And it's even a sideways cover, too, which is even better.
Yeah, I got like a Brady Bunch type vibe going on here between the Nightwing. I really love that one. So, yeah. So, what'd you think of this one, Chris?
I can't go wrong with this issue. This was
I was expecting you to be it was okay.
No, it was good when they're fighting each other. When he's fighting, what's that?
Blockbuster.
It's like arguing, but as you're winning your argument, you beat the hell out of the other guy, and then, when Blockbuster tries to answer back his arguments, he gets his beats in, and then they play the Batgirl and is a Batwoman. I don't know. They
Not
kind of
Batgirl.
they play the other people coming to save them. So it wasn't too bad. A few good twists in there, and the city. Wow, unfortunately, the city comes in to help everybody because they all love Bloodhaven. That's kind of been there, and done that, but it's still fun to see.
I love this issue. I love this series. As you guys know, I just talked about it in my top 5 current comic books a few episodes ago when we talked about it. I've been singing this book's praises a lot, but this particular issue was something special. I thought that you got Bruno Redondo and art, the culmination of the storyline of him basically versus Blockbuster, the whole thing of him trying to claim Bloodhaven and him trying to defend it. And like you said, I liked how everybody rose up to help them. And my favorite part of this issue, honestly, even like this whole intro where he's fighting him, fantastic, between the art, the layouts, everything I thought was fantastic. But it's got to be, and it contains my favorite panel probably in comics throughout this whole week of comics, which is a great week for me. It's this part right here where he basically gives the fuck you, like, because they reveal to the Blockbusters, the goons here, that he, the way he kind of had them in prison, and he's the one that owns the prison,
and then he treats them all like
like dirt and right. And then basically he comes through and starts giving him the finger in a car before he drives off, says fuck you. Then you got the Comics Code Authority over the fuck part. I thought that was genius. I thought that was so funny, so great, such an awesome moment. And then it ends in the culmination of the classic fucking moment that we get so many times in these comic books, where the girl's like, he finds out who Nightwing is, all right, but he figures out that he's Dick Grayson in this issue, okay, at Blockbuster, and he's like, Babs, like, we're screwed now. He knows who I am. It's like, we're gonna have to break up. Like, he knows, so he's gonna find out who you are, like the Spider-Man conundrum. And she just looks at him and starts laughing. She's like, you think that's like the first time, like like, you know how many issues we have on a daily basis? Like, we'll get through this. Like, she's like, this is nothing. Like, and I just love that this relationship is like working. Yes, I love it so much, because so many times in comics you get this will they, won't they, even the shit that's going on with Spider-Man right now, which I know you love, but like, it's such a fucking cock tease at so many points in time. And you always get these moments where the Peter Parker, oh, we can't do it, like, they know who I am, we can't go on like this. She just laughs in the face of that. She's like, no, we're gonna be fine. Like, I love that moment, because it kind of skirted expectations so much for what we're used to in superhero stories and these tropes that they always fucking play by. I love this moment. This is my favorite moment in anything I've read this week. This was fantastic. I love that. Even like the action, like I said, was great in this. The story top notch. But this moment, I was just like, that is such a refreshing breath of fresh. Honestly, like, it really is. It really fucking is. You can call it a hokey, whatever, Chris. I loved it. I thought this was great. And then it fucking ends with his heart getting ripped out. The heart guy's back, rips Blockbuster's heart out. Maybe he won't be able to tell.
Blockbuster's dead then, right?
It looks like it. It looks like it.
He hadn't a chance to tell anybody either.
Right.
So maybe.
Anyways, what'd you give this one, Chris?
Well, I like your point there about everything's happening great for Dick Grayson, but I'm happy for him. I won't say anything else. Shouldn't be him. Should be
Chris
else.
Is like Dan DiNeo. He hates on Nightwing. You know, when he was working there, he was trying to get that book. Like, that's why he turned into fucking Rick Grayson for such a long time. He hates him. Hates Dick Grayson.
You can hate him, but you should break him, not freaking.
What'd you give this then, Chris?
I'll give it a 4.25. It was a great issue.
5. Screaming it from the rooftops, everybody. This is a hell of an issue. It has a hell of an issue, a hell of a series. Nightwing.
He doesn't deserve that fucking happiness, this bum.
All right, Avengers Forever number 9, Chris.
Okay, where we got that? I got that here somewhere. Anyways, we got the cover there. I got the Carol chorus. This is basically some Elseworld where I know these sort of animal type people rule the world. There's some I think Dark Phoenix is like the god of this world, and basically anything that the story is, anything that flies is sacrilege. Only the Phoenix can fly. So I guess every day these birds are out there, they come fly, then these people go out there and shoot them. And you got Carol Danvers here. She's tasked with picking them up and kind of gathering for her overlords. And she's kind of still a rebellious sort there, so they've tied her up with a big ball and chain, and they throw her in a pit. And as she tries to escape this pit, she's always trying to jump and jump and jump. And one of these days, she finds a nest of birds and she kind of takes care of them. And then these birds fly away, and then these people are about to shoot the birds. And then she sort of tries to save the birds, so she goes ballistic. They kind of shoot, they try and shoot her, and they shoot her. I guess they're
Chain
ball and
off.
chain the chain.
Yeah.
So then she's free. Then all this time she's been trying to jump. Oh, all of a sudden, wow, I can fly or I can jump really high. I'm really strong. So she takes care of business now that she's been unchained. And I think that's still a great story. But you've kind of seen more of this
Bane.
before.
Bane kind of.
Yeah, in earlier story, even just in earlier stories of this Avengers Forever, kind of the character, kind of breaking free. And I guess during this time too, she's been dreaming of other Carol Danvers or other or Captain Marvels.
Yeah, the Carol Corps. Yeah.
Yeah, but then at the end here, she jumps up and she ends up on a
helicarrier.
I guess, yeah, shield helicarrier. Yeah. And there are a freaking shit ton of Captain Marvels or Carol Danvers, whatever you want to call them. So I don't know what kind of war this is building up to, but they're building one hell of an army to fight these Mephisto's Red Council. Like, if you have like 300 Captain Marvels or whatever, a whole army of Captain Marvels coming at you, they got the Captain Americas, they got some few Thors with them. I don't know how this is going to play out, but I can't wait for it.
I really like this issue as well. I read it digitally. Just again, because I'm just trying to read Avengers now because I know it's going to be ending soon. And I did read, I think, 50 issues of this run and then jumped off. And then Chris has been reading it since he's joined the show here and we've been doing this. So I did like this as a one and done. I thought it was a good strong story of hope and that kind of stuff. And like you said, it's not like it hasn't been done before, this type of stuff. I feel like this type of story being told, but it was done well. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. And I do like the whole weirdness of the animals ruling the world, like in some sort of like Wind in the Willows type. Like, I don't know, like they're all English and they're all, what I mean?
Like it's an alligator head, or even the freaking human people just have giant heads or something.
You know what I mean? Like it feels like one of those like type of stories where all there's like animal people, like English animal people running around. Like it just feels like old England though that they're at, right? Like with there's like shooting with the guns, like in like a shot put or something. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I was like, this is very strange, but I like it. Yeah, I was like, it's very different and like something you seems like you see in like a weird sci-fi movie or something like that. Yeah, absolutely. So I dug it. Yeah, what'd you give it?
I'll give it a 3.75. I liked it.
Same. Yeah, very good. Yeah, I liked it. It was very unexpected. All right, next up we got Catwoman 47. Nice cover, yeah.
Okay, so we got Catwoman and what's his name, Varmont. They're going on a bit of a vacation, and I'm not too crazy about this Varmont character. He always seems to have all these connections to do whatever he does. But it's a nice drawn cover. They have some fun in a plane. Then I guess they're going after a whole bunch of I guess the mafia of the Gotham underground there. So not too bad. Like I was say, I had a real lot to read there, so this wasn't top of my list to read. Now that there's no Batman sort of involved in this storyline, I think he's coming back though, so I'm looking forward to that. But it was a decent story. It's kind of fun to read. I just give it a 3.5.
Yeah, no, it seems like there's a lull in the storyline right now. Yeah, for you, yeah, no, for sure. Let's take a little bit look at more at the art here. I can't say I love this art either. Is this?
It's more like a James Bond type of story. They're out in the field there, and there's no kind of superpower stuff or nothing crazy going on in here.
Right. All right. Next up, we got Batman One Bad Day, Riddler #1. I read this digitally. This is all right. It was nowhere as good as I think the Batman One Bad Day, Two-Face. Ignore the thing that says Riddler there. That was the last One Bad Day one, which was much better than this one. I thought. I didn't pick this up an issue just because I thought that I didn't like the creative team on this one as much. I was just going to cherry pick, I think, the ones that seemed interesting to me, and I'm glad I didn't, but I was interested enough to read it online. So it was okay. This, didn't try to act like Batman Killing Joke as much as Batman Riddler did. And maybe that's a good thing. And maybe that's a bad thing, But I guess if you start off this series of one-shots over the next several months with the book that is going to be the most true to The Killing Joke, it kind of sets a precedent for everything. You know what I mean? Everything that kind of follows afterwards. And if everyone's just going to come here and do their own thing, even given this premise of the one bad day thing, and they're all going to be different, maybe that's a good thing, I think. But it's not what I had expected from this, let's say, going into it. But when it's all said and done, it was just like it was a decent one-shot story about Two-Face. Nothing original, nothing crazy about this. The only thing that they kind of delved into this that I don't feel like I've seen a lot of is this relationship with him and his father. And in this issue, his father is having his like 88th birthday or something. And he's been getting notes basically threatening that something's going to happen to him on his birthday. And Two-Face, I guess that is at one of his points that he's actually a good guy right now, or on the mend, let's say, and or in his right mind for the moment. Comes the Batman and shows them the note and says, like, I don't know who this is from, and that's what worries me. Like, any of their other friends, villains that you're aware of, my buddies like that I used to work with, like, I this doesn't seem like their work. And he can't figure out who wrote the note. And then it's the very expected wrote type thing where it is his other self, of course, because he is Two-Face that wrote the note. The part of him that really has a lot of disdain for his father and does not like him, even though he puts on this brave front and says how much he loves his father and everything else. And I guess he has some issues with him that go deep down from his childhood. And when Batman comes to the party as Bruce Wayne and has Stephanie Brown Batgirl and Cassandra Cain Batgirl all there, poses himself just ready to spring and taking a look around the party and trying to like figure out who's going to attack and stop this. Basically all these balloons that are in the party here were filled in with some sort of gas of some sort, and they end up taking that out. But his cake was also poison that Two-Face made sure his father took a bite of. And then as a result of the poison that's in it, it actually disfigures half of his face. It all starts bubbling up and he turns into a monster like Two-Face. And basically he confronts his father about it and finds out, that I guess it's not as good a relationship as we expected it. That was, right? So again, nothing original. The art was fine. It was okay story. I gave it a 3.5. I mean, I think if you had to compare between the two that have come out so far, I think the Riddler one is the one you want to grab. This one was all right, but it wasn't, as good as the Riddler one, I would say so far. We'll see what the others bring. And then you got X-Men Unlimited Green #2. The first issue I quite liked it. This one was not as good either. It was okay. I mean, the first one set up this whole thing with Nature Girl going around killing people in the name of people being bad to the environment and this kind of thing, and mistreating animals, because she is Nature Girl. And anyway, she finally gets caught in this one. Everything gets caught back up to her. The council tries to throw her in the pit for her wrongdoings because she killed humans, and mutants shall not kill humans. And then Wolverine tracks her down and helps with that, and she gets thrown in the pit. But then at the end of the day, Cypher and Krakoa, because he's linked up with them, and they share like a lot of thoughts and stuff between one another. He makes sure that when she goes into the pit, that he saves her from falling deep into the pit. And basically, because she's young and has made mistakes, Cypher basically says to her, like, I'm going to give you a second chance and be on your way. And it looks like the Marauders end up picking her up at the end of this issue, and she might join that team. She already might be on the team because this was a digital comic first. She might be in the new Marauder series for all I know, but I'm not reading that anymore, so I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah, this is how she joins. I guess it looks like the Marauders. So because he took pity on her, I guess. But I gave it a 3.5. It was fine, but again, it's not in line with as good as some of the other X-Men books. This was only like a little 2-issue series that was digital first. So all right, next up we got DC versus Empires All Out War #3. Chris.
Yeah, what's this one's been sort of up and down. I think this was more of a down issue again.
Yes, I agree.
There's a lot going on in here. I don't know who's who really and sort of what the story is. Was this when are they at the blood farm trying to get the light back or something? Yeah, this one just didn't go for it for me. I don't know. What do you think about this one? Same.
No, I totally agree with you. It seems like we left a lot of the ones that weren't that great here towards the end of the episode. We should have thought that one out more, but yeah, I agree. This was up and down. Exactly. I thought the first one we both thought was okay. The second one was really good.
Yeah.
Then we're back to just like not that great. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, and even the backup, which I thought was really good in the last issue, was just it wrapped up in this issue, and it just seemed like inconsequential to the storyline. I was like, oh, okay, like it was, I felt that was introducing a whole other side of the of Dick Ray. I think it's Nightwing, right?
I think it's how Nightwing becomes a vampire, really, because.
Yeah, and he's introduced to the world of the vampires and the ones that I guess are against vampires.
I guess he got double crossed by
Aldo
Montoya.
It just seemed to like just end, and I was like, oh, okay, it wasn't that great. So the art is interesting. I think there's some good layouts in this issue. I thought there were some interesting things going on, but like you said, I mean, we lost a couple of big characters last issue, and then the other D-list type characters that are in this right now aren't as interesting. They barely spent any time with Ms. Marvel in this other than the opening scene. And then Batwoman is probably the most interesting character in this right now, and even she was, I mean, she's a vampire, but they don't know if she's like helping them out or what's going on with her. Like they're kind of iffy on her,
I'm still kind of iffy on this whole like people that are vampires, but they've kind of fought off the bloodlust or something. I don't know about that.
I wasn't impressed with this issue either, though, to be fair. So what'd you give this one then?
I'll give it a 3.25.
Same. Yeah. I was going to say, out of everything we talked about tonight, this is probably one of my least favorite things I read. It just didn't.
Yeah.
And it's getting overshadowed majorly by the main series. I think the main series is a lot better.
Like I say, I think I've been talking about I think it's killing me that this is a 6-issue run.
Yeah.
This should have been just a 3,
like a one shot. Yeah. I know. Or 2, 3. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I don't need to put 6-issue on a what's the other one? 12 issues.
Yeah.
The DC versus Vampire.
This is not a story worth telling so far.
Yeah.
No. All right. Next up, we got Fantastic Four number 47, which is an Axe tie-in. Yep. What'd you think of this then?
I didn't mind this one too. We got Reed Richards in the think tank, and kind of as he's thinking, it's playing out to all the action that's going outside. I don't mind it. I don't mind a Sue Storm. I haven't read many Susan Storm stories.
It's nice to see her get the spotlight. Yeah. Absolutely.
And, I don't know much about the villains, but I thought it was decent. I like that. There's no judgment going on, which I was hoping for, unless I missed something. But maybe that's coming in the next one. So it wasn't really a Judgment Day tie-in, other than Reed Richards going into the think tank to try and think about what he can do to stop the Celestial.
Right.
They got to give that Celestial another name. I can't even pronounce that name. With the Progenitor or the Progenitor.
Yeah, that's it.
What the heck is that even? But anyways, I'll call him the Celestial God from now
on. It was fine.
I like the story.
I got nothing else to say on it, though. I think you hit on everything. There's not much to talk about here. This is a very basic Fantastic Four issue.
Basically it was billed as like what Die Hard in the Baxter Building.
I wish they went more of the route, like you said, like the Avengers issue did, kind of. And
I thought Sue Storm would be getting judged in here, or maybe in the next issue. Who knows? But
I think
it is a 2-issue.
Yeah. I think if anybody, and then they're gonna relaunch the series. Yeah, I think if anybody would have got the thumbs out of the Fantastic Four, it would be Reed and Thing. Thumbs up. I think Reed. Sorry, not Reed. Sue and Thing. Yeah. Reed and Johnny would get the thumbs down in my opinion, because I think Johnny's too selfish, and I think Reed's just too invested in his own shit. Self-absorbed. I think. I think those two would get thumbs down, and I think Sue, because they're more of the heart of the Fantastic Four. I find Thing for sure. I think he's too decent of a guy. So,
but it's a good Fantastic Four. It shows everybody how great Sue is, though. Like they're really singing the praises this one.
Absolutely. All right, so there you go. I'm giving it 3.5.
3 points. 3.5. Push it up to a 3.75.
And then lastly, we got Iron Cat number 4.
Oh, geez. Well, this one was okay. I don't know where I have it here. It's in the back issue. I got these all doubled up.
Yeah.
I've been loving. Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
I've been liking this one here. I guess they all got to team up together to fight the Madam Menace. And, they kind of pull some of the old tricks that you've seen in some of the other Iron Cat books. And I guess, what's her name? Tamara, Iron Cat, or I guess Felicia's Hardy sort of ex-girlfriend.
Right.
Looks like she might have, I don't know, died here. I doubt it, but she gets kind of crushed.
The ending was kind of weird to this one, too. I don't know what that was all
this is 4 out of 5, right?
Yeah.
I always find the one before the end kind of
Yeah, sometimes they feel like you need one more issue and they rush it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pacing is a big thing in comic
Like this
books.
could have been a
Yeah,
4-issue
yeah,
story,
yeah,
it
yeah,
seems.
same.
But
Yeah, I think
I'm hoping a lot for the next one. But I have enjoyed the issue. But I just don't like seeing them all floating around in their
thank you. Yes, that's what's going to be my main
in the
comment about this.
Iron Man suits.
That was going to be my main comment about this issue is like 90% of this issue, they're all just zooming around. And I'm just like, you're not really getting these great character moments because everyone's just talking from their suits like the film. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. Like you all got suits, but like the way this miniseries started off was way stronger than what it is now.
Yeah.
Like I think this started off so good and it's lost its way for me.
I'm hoping the last issues they all get back to basics. And
this was the weakest issue I think so far, though. Yeah, I was just like, what's going on here? I was really disappointed in this one, actually. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I like how she got the Hulkbuster and everything else here, but like, you know, the bad guy. But other than that, like you said, it was 90% of them just fucking zooming around, getting chased by rockets, and
you know, or whatever. He's got his plan to outsmart them, and
you
know, it's kind of a double swerve, let's say, but it's a swerve we've seen before.
I also don't think it's been very representative of her as a character, Felicia Hardy.
Yeah,
because there is some like moment at the end where he's like, I went with her plan. And like, it was just a little too late where I'm just like, yeah, but this whole time, like, it's been more about Iron Man than it has been about her.
Yeah.
Right. And like, it's not like they're pulling heists. It's not like it's really them just dealing with their exes, which I'm like, I feel like isn't as interesting. And I would have liked to see more moments with them just standing here as themselves throughout this series, like it did in the start.
Yeah.
As opposed to them all in the suits. Right. Like, because at one point, like all 4 of them have suits. And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
what are we doing here?
Yeah. I don't mind Iron Man, but come on.
Yeah.
It's freaking Black Cat.
Yeah. What'd you give this one?
I'll give it a 3.5. Not my favorite out of the series.
Yeah, same. So there you go. Well, that's gonna do it for all the issues that we had to talk about that came out this week. A huge week of comics, as we mentioned, guys. Very quickly, we are going to go over the solicitations for Marvel, the solicitations for December 2022. Let me just bring those up here for you guys. And we're going to do DC next week just because we were running along on time this episode. But yeah, we're going to do that right now.
December's a big month, though, for Marvel.
Yeah.
At least. Well, DC, too, from what I saw. But
yeah.
Big things starting up in Marvel. I think we got the Dark Web starting up. You got the Avengers wrapping up. You have the Axe wrapping up. So looking forward to see what we got going on here.
Yeah, some good stuff. All right, so here we go. We'll shout out to comicreleases.com. Great site if you want to check out solicitations for all of your upcoming books, or even the release dates on books that are coming out currently, including collected editions. This site's a godsend for that kind of thing because, as you know, with the pushbacks of delays going on, paper shortages, everything else, or whatever excuses are coming up with nowadays, this site, like on a daily basis, updates release dates on all of the things that are on here. So like, it's kind of hard to keep track of stuff these days. So this site does a great job of doing it. So shout out to them. So, all right. Let's get past the collected editions here because we talk about issues on this show. Some good omnibuses though, if you're into that this month. So make sure to check those out. Some good stuff coming out. Okay, here we go. Single issues, Timeless #1, 2022.
Yeah, I'm getting it. I missed it out last year.
I missed out last year too. I'm probably going to read this online, but I will be checking it out. This is Kang issue talking about the happenings that are going to happen within the Marvel universe this next year.
I'm not going to get that stupid clock that was so popular last year.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything about it since, but
that's a hot comic to get your hands on these days. Like, because the way that it got released, there wasn't many that came out. I think they pulled it. And
it's worthless now.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Because at the time it was like
at the time that's the one to get.
Yeah. All right. Dark Web #1. Absolutely.
Oh, yes,
absolutely. Yeah. Let's take a look at some of these covers on this one. Absolutely gonna read this. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be the Spider-Man X-Men event.
Yeah. I think there's a Stegman
wraparound. That's the one. That's the one. Yep. That's a nice one. Yeah, I would like to get that. Absolutely. All right. Amazing Spider-Man 15 and 16. Yes. Absolutely. Yep. Look at these covers. Some nice ones here, too. That's a JRJR one. That's a Stegman one, too, I think. No, it's Ed McGuinness. That's a nice one.
I might be getting that one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Venom 14, Chris?
Nope. Yes.
I think these all connect too,
Yeah,
don't they?
he's
All
part of the
these
dark
blue
web
ones?
somehow.
Yeah. I'm gonna read this online. I don't normally read Venom, but for the dark web, I might check out this issue because that seems like it's gonna be a. Oh, Stegman did a variant of that. Whoa, look at that one. Extreme 90s. He's got a bazooka and a fucking pistol. I don't know what.
I'll leave the 90s back in the 90s.
All right, Mary Jane and Black Cat.
Yes.
Yes, one and I think 1 and 2 might come out this month. I'm not sure,
I
but
don't know, man. It better be good though, but I have fucking low hopes.
Jed McKay. This is the next Jed McKay Black Cat series. I really like the one shot he did with these.
I do.
Yeah, so I'm gonna check this
I
out.
have no idea what it's going to be about or how it's going to work in, but I hope it's good. I really do.
I'll be picking this up as well. I'm also picking this up, Dark Web X-Men 1 of 3. Yeah, because they're part of the event, the X-Men, and this is written by Jerry Duggan.
But there's also a Miss Marvel one that I think I'm gonna not pick.
No, I'm not picking that. That's true. But the X-Men are a big part of this, and Jerry Duggan is the writer of the X-Men right now, so I think this will be a good one. Rod Rice is on art. He's like the Sienkiewicz looking artist. He's good. Yep. Number 2. Yeah, definitely gonna be picking this one.
Yeah, sweet covers.
Yeah. All right, Gold Goblin. No, I think we're skipping on that one.
I think it's tying in though too, but
it is.
I'm not.
Dark Web, Miss Marvel. No, I'm making the exception with the X-Men, but that's about it in terms of the Dark Web.
Miss Marvel.
How about the new Iron Man? You checking this out?
I'll get number 1 at least.
Yeah, I'm gonna be reading this again. Jerry Duggan.
There's some nice covers there. Like boom, that's a nice cover right there.
I think I'm picking up. Where is it? The first one. I think this one. Yeah, I'm picking that up. That one. I'm going with. It's a good one. All right, so Iron Man number 1, Jerry Duggan on writing duties. Miles Morales is relaunching again. Spider-Man number 1. I'm not gonna pick this up. I'm not interested in this team. I like Miles, but they haven't had a writer on it that I've been interested in since Bendis has left. Unfortunately, look at that, Cat Miles. All right, let's go. They're also re-releasing the first issue of the Ultimate Comics Spider-Man series that he had, Fast Mile Edition. Miracle Man, yes. I think I'm not going to read this in issues anymore. I might be dropping this. This might be part of the purge. I am going to continue reading this, and I'll probably pick up the collected edition. But I think
are these new stories here?
These might be the first of the new stories. Okay. Yeah,
because I think the first 2 or 3 were
the first reprints. 2 are reprints. Yeah, but then they abandoned that series back in the day. Yeah, see, all new all new chapter. Yeah, so this is the first one. Yeah.
$20 in, thanks.
Avengers 63. I'll be reading this online. Yeah, Chris is reading it, of course. This is going to be.
I think this is coming to the end or just before the end.
Yep. Avengers Forever, last issue, number 12. Looks like they're all on this one.
I think this is just a lead into. This is almost another like the Spider-Verse where they're just collecting everybody.
Yeah, see, this is actually Avengers Assemble Part 3 here. So what's this one here? Is this
I think that's the final run.
Part 2. Okay, yeah, that's the last storyline. Yeah. All right, so I'll be reading that.
Like the Jason Aaron, the end of his epic saga, let's say.
Yeah. Monica Rambeau Photon. No. Fantastic Four. Yeah, I'm reading this for now. We'll see.
We'll see.
I've pre-ordered the first one, so I'll be pre-ordering the second one as well. Hopefully it's a good take on the Fantastic Four.
That's a nice cover.
Yeah.
The Noto, and that's a nice one.
Yeah, I like the Fantastic Four, so yeah, it is a nice one, the Noto one. Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, 1 of 5. No. Spider-Man 3, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. End of the Spider-Verse rages on. Yeah, so I guess this does have to do with the Spider-Verse. Yeah.
Well, you better fucking stretch it out, man.
Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man, no. Peter Parker and Miles Morales Spider-Man Double Trouble, no. Murder World Spider-Man number 1. Maybe I'll read it online. Maybe. I do like Murder World, but I'm not going to be picking this up, the physical. Spider-Man Lost Hunt, no.
I like that cover though, man.
This one? Yeah, that's cool. I mean, this is again, this is one of those older stories we're bringing back.
Yeah, he's in Portland. He's with Mary Jane. Like, this is all I'm asking for, but I need the main continuity.
This is a good period of time for Spider-Man, though.
I think I might get this as much as I don't want to, but I might get that stupid cover at least.
This is with J.M. DeMatteis, who wrote Kraven's Last Hunt. Yeah. That's what this is a return to, right? So, and you got, speaking of returns, Planet Hulk, World Breaker number 2.
I'm not buying it.
No,
I want to, but fuck, it looks good.
Deadpool number 2.
Yeah, I'm buying that.
No, I'm out on that. Sabretooth and the Exiles number 2. Extreme X-Men number 2. No. Namor.
No.
This is part of the purge. I think I pre-ordered the first issue, maybe even the second one, but I'm purging it. If it's good, I'll pick up the trade because I am interested in this. I will be reading this online moving forward, so I'm gonna read it. Yes. Wakanda number 3. No. Tiger Division. I don't know what that is. No. Secret Invasion. No, I don't know why they're
No.
doing another one.
Yeah, that's like I don't know.
I'm
why.
in on this. Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise #2. Yeah, very, very into this one. I'm really looking forward to this. This is a premium artist that they got in this book, and I'm excited to see him come back. So it'll be good. All Out Avengers.
Yeah, I don't think I'm sticking with that. I'm just gonna buy. I'm gonna cherry pick some issues.
Okay. Carnage.
Fuck, I should have bought this, but I'm out.
I know you keep saying that. Like
I read it online and
Felt you
and
missed the
it's
boat
good
on that
stuff.
one.
Yeah, I think I did miss the boat.
Exterminators 4 or 5. There's 5. Okay, that was
Yeah, I'll
4.
be in there for that.
Nice. Take a look at these. Yeah, man, this artist is good. Carlos Gomez. I think it's a different artist actually. I don't know. Legion of X. Nope. X-Men Annual. Not picking up the annual.
I might pick up the annual Firestorm.
I might read it online, but it's not the same writer, so I'm not as interested in that. X-Men Red. I've dropped. I purged this. I might read it online still, but I'm not reading digitally. I might read it, but I'm not reading it in issues. So Marauders 9. No. Immortal X-Men. I'm sticking with. I like this. The covers on this too.
Oh, what's the beat cover? Oh, those are 2 good covers.
That's a good one of Momoko. Is that her? Yeah, that's a good Momoko one right there. Yeah, I might get that. That's nice. New Mutants 33.
Yeah, I'm out.
You're out?
They're fighting the UFOs. Come on.
X-Force, no, 35. Wolverine 28.
This is where he goes in the pit, I think.
Oh, yeah. There's the pit.
I don't know. That's crazy.
They got a good artist on this issue. Wolverine descends into the pit. Might have to check that one out.
Why he goes in the pit and what's he doing in there, but we'll see.
Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty. No. Symbol of Truth. No. Captain Marvel. Still reading this?
Yeah, it's probably.
Revenge of the Brood. Oh, the Brood from the X-Men. Is that who they're fighting? Man, these Peach Momoko covers going crazy with these lately. They're not all winners anymore, but Black Panther #12. No. Ghost Rider. No. Thor 29. Yeah. This is worrisome now.
I've heard some stuff.
Okay.
Go on, yeah.
Do tell. I was gonna say this is the part 1 of the Legacy of Thanos, which sounds good. But we have returning artist Nick Klein, but another writer on this, Torin Grunbrook or whatever. She's the one that co-wrote that a lot of the Jane Foster shit. She's the one that's writing that miniseries you've been reading. I'm worried because the last 2 issues with the Venom are co-written by Al Ewing with Donny Cates, and in this issue, Donny Cates isn't even on it. So I'm like, is he left? What's going on, Chris?
I haven't heard any. I don't know if this was an announcement that Donny Cates is out, and maybe for personal reasons.
Oh no,
that's the only thing. Like, I don't know if that was speculation or if that was the case.
I haven't seen an official announcement.
Yeah, I haven't seen an official. I just kind of saw some blurbs out there, and then there's I saw some other blurbs. Hey, this guy's taking a break. He's focusing on his own stuff. He's not gone, so it's hard to say.
They might bring another writer in for this.
Yeah, they're just taking a break.
Okay.
I hope.
I'll continue with it if that's the case. But I mean, if we haven't got an official announcement, maybe that's the case. Maybe if they bring somebody in for a story arc, that's fine. But I really don't want him to leave this book. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
Yeah. So, and that's probably why they don't want to announce that, because they know people will drop it, like I would, right? If that was the case. Strange #9. Yes. Looks like he's back. Looking forward to that. Midnight Suns. No, I'm out on that one. Yeah. Very disappointing first issue.
Yeah, that is a video game freaking tie-in, the Midnight Suns. There's a video game out there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, no wonder. Garbage.
Yeah.
Strange Academy Finals #3. Yes, I'm in on this. Reprint of She-Hulk #1 because of the show, I'm sure. She-Hulk #9. You reading that?
Yeah.
So nice. Punisher #8. Yes, definitely. Moon Knight 18. I read that in trade. It's great, guys, but yeah, not reading the issues. Thunderbolts. No. Damage Control. No. It's the end of those 2 miniseries. Daredevil 6. Yes. Yeah. Let's take a look at these. Oh, what's going on?
Oh yeah,
there?
The Demonized.
That's cool.
I don't know what it's for, but it's
ooh, that's another nice Momoko one. I actually like that one too. She's got a couple of good ones this month, actually. I might get
the cover's pretty good though.
Savage Avengers.
Yep, still down.
Might read it digitally.
We'll see what goes on here. They might have been moving on to a new story.
Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. No. Origins of Marvel Comics. No. Predator #5. No. Alien 4. No. Star Wars. No. I think it's
basically it's all Star Wars.
Star Wars, Yoda, Star Wars, Mandalorian, Bounty Hunters, Dr. Aphra. That's it. All right, that's all, folks. All
Oof.
right, there you go. That's going to do it for the Marvel solicitations. And for the most part, for this episode, just going to mention what we're going to be picking up next week here. Chris, what are you picking up next week?
Yeah, let me just look this up here. I think it's more of a DC heavy week from what I remember. It's for the 28th. Let's see. From Marvel, I'll probably read the Axe Avengers, but what I'm buying is, let's see, I gotta move down the list pretty far. Not too bad. Spider-Man 10, Thor 27, X-Men 15, and from DC, Action, Beyond the White Knight. Gonna be a sick cover coming there. DC Horror presents Sergeant Rock and the Army of the Dead by Bruce Campbell. DC versus Vampires, nice. Deathstroke, Detective Comics. I think I got Harley Quinn 22 still. Human Target 7, nice art germ cover.
Yeah.
And that's it for me there. And maybe, a couple image or whatever I can poke around with.
Another big week for me. Got Batman Beyond the White Knight 5. Yeah, DC Horror presents Sergeant Rock versus Army of the Dead 1. DC versus Vampires 9, Detective 1064, Harley Quinn 22, Human Target 7, Superman Space Age number 2, Tim Drake Robin number 1. I might be rereading digitally. Amazing Spider-Man 10, Axe Avengers 1, Old Dog 1, Thor 27, and X-Men 15. And that's what
Old Dog sounds pretty good.
It does. Yeah. Declan Shalvey is the artist and writer on that. I read a short story of him in the Image Anthology number 1 issue. I think that's the only one I read. But it had a preview of what that series is going to be. It's kind of like James Bond type, or like an old man who like runs missions. Like he's like
just
MI6 type dude or something. You know what I mean? Like grizzled.
Yeah, just some fucking badass guys taking a break and he kind of gets pulled back into the game. It seems.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. So yeah.
And speaking of all, we talked about this earlier. The DC at the end of every DC comic, they had a little preview of the Joker.
Yeah.
Or the Deadly Duo, which I thought, I didn't think much of, but
the Mark Silvestri drawn and written series.
Wow, it's looking good.
Looks good. I'm in, guys. You got me with this preview.
Yeah, I think I might have fallen to the hype too.
I think we talked about it on the last previews when they first announced this, when we talked about the solicitations for this month, or sorry, for this, is it December or November? I think
it's November.
Yeah. And then this issue was the first time they previewed the art in the DC books this week at the end of every issue. And there were several pages there, and it looks good, man. I was just like, I was impressed. I was like, I haven't seen Mark Silvestri pencils in a while. Looks good, man. Looks good. So I'm on board. For now. We'll see. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the best written thing, but the art, the visuals look top notch. So yeah. Turn a hater into a believer here.
I'll take a hot comic with a shitty story versus a freaking great story with shitty art.
Yeah, see, my ears talking about that, guys. Come November, that's Batman the Deadly Duo. It's where him and Joker team up for something.
Yeah, for whatever reason. I guess to get Harley or save Harley. I don't know.
Exactly. All right, it's that time, guys. Our favorite book of the week.
I know what mine is.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know what yours is. I'm like, yeah, like I do.
Find it.
Yeah, I don't know what mine is.
Oh, geez. Can't even find it.
Nightwing.
Nightwing. Nice story,
Yeah, Nightwing 96, guys.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
I'm just a hater. Where the hell is it?
Clearly.
There it is. Boom, deceased.
Yeah.
I love seeing Supergirl in there as a bad person and freaking getting Sinestro get his head ripped off. And after he sort of redeems himself too, because he was. Anyways.
You know what actually was runner up for me this week, surprisingly, was Avengers.
Yeah, that was a good
Avengers
story.
60, I think, was the runner up for me, I think, this week, and then Deceased. But Avengers 60 was close. Just because I didn't expect that type of story, but it was going to tie into Axe like that. It was really well done. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for this week. Thank you once again. Chris, it's good fun as always. Cheers again, man. Yeah. And yeah, man.
Yeah, I know it's on this other chat network that you got going on. They say we're not out late. Hey, was it like 9:30? That's pretty late.
That's pretty late. That's not bad, right? We're doing our thing. Once again, guys, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, hit the notification bell to be notified when these videos come out. Follow us on Instagram at Late Night Collectors Community, all that good stuff. Thanks again. Thanks to Chris. Always a good time and talk about comics. And we'll see you guys next week. Later.